Sophie, MPP for Kingston and the Islands, and I'm here taping another session of Conversations with Sophie, and this time we're at the PERC Lab at Queen's University.
Well, thank you, Sophie. We've had a long tradition here at Queen's of working together, working in the hospital, doing our research, and being adjacent to the university at the hospital has been a real boon for us, because we have the opportunity to be close to our scientists across the campus and working with computer sciences here and other scientists within the university, and having the opportunity to work with their students and the best and brightest that Queen's has. That opportunity has allowed us to help to solve some of the problems we see in clinical medicine and use some of the technologies that are available in the world outside of medicine, and try to create solutions that help us solve the problems that we have, and take some of the solution and develop some of those solutions with the technologies and understandings that our colleagues have across the university. And at the same time, because everybody's connected in this world, our roots go deeper because of the connections that these folks have to other universities in Canada and across the world, where we can bring those collaborations to bear at the university. So it's an opportunity for us to network internally, and for that network to grow outside and to bring value to our patients in the community.
So this is our Navi Knife setup, and this arose through a collaboration with John and Gabor. Women currently are undergoing breast screening, and more they are having tumors identified through screening mammograms that are what we call non-palpable. In other words, I can't feel them and neither can the patient. That presents a problem because we can't find it in the breast. So traditionally, the way we've dealt with that is have a radiologist identify the tumor with mammogram and ultrasound. They put a needle and a wire in to show us somewhere on that needle and wire is where the tumor is. The problem the surgeon has is we can't see the wire, we can't see the needle, and it's really guessing, trying to figure out where that tumor is in relation to that needle and wire. As a result, not insignificantly, we would take out the tumor but not have what we call a clear margin. In other words, we cut too close to the tumor, and the pathologist tells us after the fact that the tumor was right up where we cut, and that would then require us going back in to re-excise more breast tissue to ensure that we haven't left anything behind. So when we talked about this issue and potential ways to come up with it, this is the setup that we developed, and what we have here is that we have placed electromagnetic sensors on the cutting device we use normally in the OR, on the needle and wire that localizes where the tumor is, and on an ultrasound. And really the only change in the technique that we would routinely use is now we're adding an ultrasound. So a woman will come to the operating room. We will generally put her under general anesthesia, and we'll then do an ultrasound in the operating room to find where that tumor is in the breast. So once we find it, we then mark out what we call a virtual margin, or where we want to cut. So we don't want to be right on the tumor. We want to have a little buffer zone of normal breast tissue around that. So we find it in a few different dimensions, and we mark out our virtual margin. And this is all taking place in the operating room in real time. So once we have that, we can then generate a 3D image of the tumor, and that will help guide us, because this electromagnetic navigation system is much like a GPS in your car. So you can see here the knife coming in, the yellow, the cautery. You can see the blue of the wire, localizing wire, and now we can see where the tumor is, the green circle. You'll see there's a little blue line that comes off of the cautery unit, and that gives us in real time exactly how far away we are from the tumor. So we can now look at the screen and look at the breast and guide our resection to stay outside of that area very carefully. If we get too close, we get a warning. So it will tell us, oh, you've breached your virtual margin, and now we can go back out and take a little wider piece. So in using this technique, we're more accurate in removing the tumor. We will have fewer positive margin rates, which means we won't have to take women back to the operating room to clean it. clean that up. And we're going to have smaller samples removed from the breast. So it's easy to get a clear margin if you take a big chunk, but then you've got a terrible cosmetic result. So now we'll be able to take smaller volumes and still achieve a clear margin with this technique. The nice thing about this is that we hope surgeons who often, they don't do a lot of breast surgery, it'll sort of level the playing field because it'll make them as good as people that do this all the time. So it's a cheap system that's, well, affordable for almost all hospitals and easy to use.
Currently, we have a research piece in the laboratory that we are still testing, and we are building up the smartness around the library, because the essence of that is the database, so that we could differentiate between the tissue types. So that's still ongoing. And in a couple of months' time, we will be having a new device that goes to the operating room, where it will be actually collecting real patient data. We will not be using that device just yet with therapeutic intent. We will be reading real patient data out to build up the library. Right. We hope that in about a year and a half, we will have enough cases in the library, enough readings in the library, so that Dr. Engel could actually use the device for actual decision making.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show today and showing residents of Kingston and the Islands the amazing work that you're doing. And as I said previously, on behalf of the women out there, we are so thankful